Hi, this is Jim Romer, Dr. Weather, coming to you from Sarasota, Florida. They call me Dr. Weather because I guess my reputation 20 years ago forecasting for ski areas around the world. Anyway, we're going to be talking about a lot today, educating you about what wind shear is, why this hurricane is so unusual, Milton, that may strengthen into at least a 3 or 4 hurricane. Will it weaken before it hits land? We're also going to be talking about the storm surge and what actually causes that. Very detailed report today. Stay with me for probably at least 10 minutes. So, first of all, we'd like you to go to this website at the climateadaptioncenter.org, a great organization here in Florida run by Bob Bunting, a meteorologist for many, many years, very successful. Basically, we're trying to really bring about leaders in both the public and private sectors to solve the challenges here in Florida with climate change and pretty much stimulate strategies, adaptation of strategies and actions to protect Florida's way of life. And eventually, this should really become an international sort of theme and effort to help mitigate climate change around the world. You could also go to this very interesting app. A friend of mine here in Sarasota runs this, localrelief.com. Really will help you figure out how to work with community members to solve climate issues here, disaster relief. Do you need a generator? Where do you go? Where are the shelters? Things like that. Is an app to help you actually follow moment-to-moment disasters like these hurricanes. Please go to their website today and download this particular app. Very interesting. So, we have never seen in October, and this is climate change, folks, not solar cycles, not all this political hogwash, never seen 3 hurricanes in October like this, the record warm global oceans. Look at this from about a week ago on the left. No models predicted a hurricane approaching Florida or anywhere near Florida. And now to the right, over my shoulder there, look at that, a category 3 or 4 hurricane approaching Florida by Wednesday evening. As you can see there on the left, no models had this. That's what we do best. We try to second guess models around the world, particularly for commodity traders and farmers for coffee, grains, natural gas. Second guess models, look at market psychology, but none of that today. We're talking all about this hurricane. So here's the situation right now. Okay. A strong jet stream to the north of Milton. If that was to sink a little bit further south, it would bring some of that red there you see to the right into the center of the storm by Wednesday evening or Thursday, and perhaps prevent this from being a 3 or 4 hurricane at landfall. I'll talk about that more in a minute. You see the black there, the low wind shear, in other words, winds aloft, very, very weak, will create explosive development. But will that cooler weather and stronger winds to the north there and the left get into the system before landfall? That's the key. There are 2 of me here. Wow. All right. Look at that. 928 pressure. If that was to happen by Wednesday, could explode into a category 5 hurricane. We've seen in the last 5 or 7 years more category 5 hurricanes explode from nothing because of the record warm oceans, folks. This is real science. Okay. This is global warming. Look at the warm oceans there, the warm Gulf of Mexico over my shoulder, near Sarasota. Very, very worrisome. Record warm temperatures right now. So what we look at is also wind shear. What's happening with winds aloft? Okay. So basically a wind shear of only 4 knots means explosive development. Okay. But it could increase to 15 to 20 knots aloft, which could blow off some of these thunderstorms and weaken this hurricane from possibly, look at that, 928, at least a category 3 or 4 hurricane, maybe to a 963 millibar pressure. That would mean a Cat 1 or Cat 2 hitting around St. Pete, give or take 30 to 50 miles here. We're not exactly sure as of this Monday morning. If that was to happen, still major storm surge to the south of the center over Sarasota and other areas, even as far to the south as maybe Naples, maybe not quite that far, but this could be a saving grace a little bit, that if the wind shear increases, maybe only a Cat 1 or Cat 2 at landfall. But this is still a really serious, dangerous storm. So what are the climatic factors that impact storm surge? That's the biggest concern right now along coastal areas from St. Pete and Tampa and also south of Sarasota. the shape of the coastline, the width and slope of the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, high or low tide. There will be low tide Thursday morning. The size of the hurricane. Look at what happened with Helene a week ago. Even though it was about 150 miles or so west of Sarasota, incredible storm surge because of the size of the storm, bringing winds and waves hundreds of miles away. And of course, the strength of the storm also makes a very big difference as far as storm surge. Right now, if this thing goes over St. Pete, look at that in red. This is the projections of possible storm surge by late Wednesday evening through Thursday afternoon or so. Could be 10 feet, devastating, because the winds come out of the west-southwest off the Gulf of Mexico if the storm goes over St. Pete. Very, very concerning right now. All right, so if we're near St. Pete, give or take 50, 75 miles, we could have extensive, devastating, catastrophic flooding to the south of that storm. Will Milton weaken to a Cat 1 or 2? That's the question. But still, there's going to be an extensive storm surge because of the way the coastline is, okay? So basically, this discusses the continental shelf, like over Miami, much deeper waters. Yes, you can have a major hurricane and flooding, but it's not as severe a situation because of the shallow waters over Tampa, for example. The water just piles up when you have a very shallow continental shelf. And that's what the situation is, like Longboat Key up to the Bay, Tampa Bay region. And also here on the picture, when you have stronger winds, like the bottom of that, the second image on the bottom there, look how the flooding actually obviously is much worse with a Category 3 or 4 hurricane than would be with a Cat 1 storm there up on the very upper image. But nevertheless, a lot to talk about here. Check in my website, bestweatherinc.com. Please stay safe. This is one of the most serious storms I've ever seen in my lifetime, and a lot of it's due to climate change. Go to the Climate Adaptation Center and also find out how you can donate. Okay, we need your help. And also download this app, localrelief.com. Stay in touch with neighbors. Figure out where shelters are. Where do you get generators, battery generators, things like that. A fantastic app developed by a friend of ours here in Sarasota. Stay safe. Stay tuned. Thank you for your time.